Hey everybody, Befron here, and I've got to say that the commander decks from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan are pretty impressive. Let's jump in. Alright folks, so today, as promised, we are going to go through all 4 commander decks from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. I got all 4 of them right here, and I gotta say, this is pretty cool. This is, I think, the first time that Wizards of the Coast has done, like, they're all tribal commander decks. So of course we have Pirates here with the Ahoy mateys commander deck. We have Merfolk here with the Explorers of the Deep commander deck, and then the Veloci-ramp-tor for dinosaurs. And then the only one that's, I guess, kind of not totally tribal is the Blood Rites commander deck. I think it focuses around vampires, vampires, clerics, and demons or something like that. It's like a life gain, life loss deck, so I guess maybe it's not 100% tribal, but it's pretty close to a tribal deck. A lot of the creatures focus around that theme. So, 4 pretty much all tribal decks. So we'll go ahead and jump in. I've got to say, these decks are really impressive. This is really the first time in a long time I've been super impressed by regular standard set Precons. There was the Eldrazi and the Sliver deck that came out with Commander Masters, but of course that was a master set, so of course those are going to be better. But these are really impressive. Good new cards, good reprints, all the good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and open these. I've got some stuff I want to pull apart and add to my decks. I don't think I'm going to keep any of these. I already have enough tribal decks, so I don't think I'm going to keep any of these as is. I'm probably going to take out the cards I want, and then kind of trade away some of the cards I don't need. So we'll go ahead and start with this one. Like I said, this is the least Blood Rites. This is the least of the, I guess I would say, least tribal, because it's kind of, again, split over like maybe 3 creature types or so. So we'll go ahead and jump in. This is also, I think, the second set. There was Wilds of Eldraine that had stuff in this like form factor in this shape. The boxes for the commander precons used to be bigger, and they would show like the actual card here instead of just like the character. So it's a little harder than usual because I don't really know what to expect. So this is a new thing, this like pouch. And again, I think technically it's not totally new. They had it in Wilds of Eldraine too. Oh, and so here's the box that most of these decks usually come with. So that folds out. Oh, they changed the style of this. So they used to always be really janky. Like, it had these flaps that always like came unglued. So this works pretty good. I can kind of unfold it, and there is the deck box. I'm not going to do this for everyone, don't worry. But that seems a little better because the other ones had these flaps on the side of this, on the top, and that would always come undone and just look really sloppy. The glue would come undone. So deck box, that works. It does still come with the collector booster sample packs, which are always fun. I'll leave that at the end. So if that's all you want to see, go ahead and skip to the end. We have our life counter as always. And then I guess somewhere in here we have our deck, a bunch of counters, and the deck just comes like raw, because normally it would come inside this when the boxes were a little bit bigger. Some informational inserts that we don't really care about, and I think all the rest of this is trash. So we'll go ahead and open this up. Again, a lot of really good stuff that's in here. I know some of the things to look out for in this one, and then we'll go ahead and do the same for all the rest. Of course, swords, now they're just putting another Blood Artist. I think last time we saw Blood Artist was in Double Masters 2022. Sword of Plowshares, they were just putting in everything now. Still a $1 card, Falkenrath Noble, all the good sacrifice stuff. Kind of seeing some overlap with Crimson Vow commander decks. Nice little sack outlet in Viscera Seer, Cruel Celebrant. But yeah, so it's definitely seeing some overlap with the vampire decks that came out with Innistrad Crimson Vow. So nothing too surprising here that we've seen so far. This is like a $5 or $10 card already. I was reading through it. It's like, kind of tax for your opponent. Whenever an artifact or creature enters the battlefield untapped and under opponent's control, they can tap it. Just like a nice little taxing thing. So it slows down a Soul Ring or an Arcane Signet that comes in, you know, a lot of these things that tap creatures when they enter the battlefield, you know, unless you really desperately need a blocker, I don't know. I don't think that's that big of a penalty because they're summoning sick anyway. So, but we'll see. Master of Dust Rites. There's I'm blanking on the name of the creature. I'll put it up here, but it kind of reminds me of that. But it gives you 3 black mana instead of 2. I think the other one is like you sacrifice 2 creatures and then you get 2 black and you draw a card or something like that. So it kind of reminds me of this, but for only 1 black is really good. I'll put that name of that creature up there when I think of it or when I find it. Austere Command, another nice solid board wipe. So I mean, looking at this deck, I mean, I think it's fairly playable. This is a great reprint. This did also come out in Crimson Vow. I think this came out in Crimson Vow, the main set. That's like a $2 or $3 card. Nice little draw engine. I play that in a Spirit deck. Bloodghast. The funny thing about this, I'm going to keep this out because I want to put this in my Aristocrats deck. I don't have it there. I'd never heard of this card. I've built a Landfall deck and I've built an Aristocrats deck, and I somehow have never heard of this card until I saw it. And I saw it and I was like, is this a new card? Is this a new card for the Commander decks? And no, it turns out this has been printed before. I think it's a few years old, this card. It was like a $7 or $8, maybe even a $10 card before this got the reprint. So I'm going to keep this out because I want to put that right into my Aristocrats deck. I know I'm going to do that. A lot of stuff, again, we've seen a lot of this in Crimson Vow. And there's the big one, Exquisite Blood. I think the last time this got reprinted was a while ago, maybe Jumpstart or something like that. Or was that Sanguine Blood? I don't know. I was confused the two, but it's like almost a $20 card. So the Commander decks are like getting to the point where they kind of almost pay for themselves if you can get it for a decent price. And I think that's the main one. Twilight Prophet. This was a good card, but did get the reprint in Commander Masters. It's like a $2 or $3 card now. Alenda, another good one. That got in Double Masters 22. So a little down from that. Isolated Chapels, that was in Dominaria Remastered, so but still some nice dual lands or, you know, whatever, multicolored lands to put in your stuff. And then we get into the regular lands. So that's it for that deck. Bloodghast is what I'm definitely going to use, and then again the Blood Right, or whatever, the Blood Rites or Sanguine Blood or Delicious Blood or whatever they call it. I already forget, but I always confuse those two. But $20 card, there's probably about, if you look through that deck and the list, there's definitely a lot of good stuff. So I'm going to move on to the Veloci-ramp-tor. I think this is the one that people are super excited about. I don't know if anybody saw this, but March of the Machine is when the latest Atali got released, and that's a ridiculous Atali. That's like, you know, every time it enters the battlefield, all your opponents exile cards until they hit a non-land, and you can cast any of them. So that's a really good Atali to start. And then after this deck got announced, that Atali now, which is only a rare in March of the Machine, is like a $20 card. I did build an Atali deck. It's not a dinosaur deck at all. It's just it's all focused around Atali as the commander and blinking him and replaying him and recasting him. But it is a there's that, and I'm not going to build all these boxes. But yeah, so anyway, you know, Atali came out, it was like maybe a $5 card, and then this deck got announced and it went up to 20. It's crazy. I do think, yeah, this is probably the best, like, all-around deck. Lots of super powerful dragon, or I keep saying dragon. I've probably already said dragon a few times, but lots of very powerful dinosaur cards. I know this is already a very solid commander. Generous Gift, another one of these things that we're seeing all the time. Path to Exile, same thing, same deal. A lot of good of the Discover mechanic in here. Otepic Hunt Master, that's a solid one. A nice new art on Cultivate. Not like we need another Cultivate, but nice new art on it at least, so we don't have to see the same thing all the time. All usual green ramp stuff. Nothing here too surprising. A lot of good new dinosaurs that we haven't seen before. Rhythm of the Wild. This is like a $5 card. I can't believe that. So that makes it worth it pretty well out of the box. Ooh, nice. I didn't notice this. A nice new art on Evolving Wilds. Very fun. All these dinosaurs are like $1 or $2. Anything that's like a rare Wrathful Raptors, Curious Altosaur. Some of these are reprints, but I'm pretty sure most of them are new. This is new. Sunfrill Imitator, that's new. Progenitor's Icon, that's new. Achroma's Will is the big one for this set. That was like a $20 card. Now it's down to like 10 or 12, but I mean, this is great in just like most decks, all decks, you know. So definitely going to hang on to that. I don't have a particular deck that I want to put that in right now. Chandra's Ignition, another one, like you put a lot of creatures or you put a big creature on the field and then it just does a ton of damage to everything. That's good. Of course, here's the old Atali. Everybody has 1,000 of these Atalis. They're just printed in everything. Fiery Confluence is a really good reprint. I play this in my Rem Corollas deck. Just deal some burn and or artifact destruction. This is a nice. I think this was in Core 2020. Nice little dinosaur that's now down a couple bucks. Apex Altasaur, Descendant's Path. It's been a while since we've seen that one. So yeah, again, a lot of good stuff. Unfortunately, we just got Regal Behemoth in Commander Masters, so that already got a hit. Rishkar's Expertise. So just, again, it's like just really good stuff. I think this came out in, was this Capenna or was this maybe March of the Machines? I forget. That was a fairly, Xenagos is a really awesome reprint. Zakama, we did just get in Commander Masters, but I mean, again, just like stuff after stuff after stuff after stuff is really good. Again, I'd say probably the best general card in this is that Chroma's Will, but I mean, really, you're getting a lot of good value out of these decks. No question at all. We'll move on to the Ahoy Matey. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but oh, yep, there's good stuff in this one too, so no surprises there. Again, really happy with these commander decks. I'm pretty sure it's fair to say I skipped Wilds of Eldraine, like, altogether. I definitely got some singles. I managed... This is crazy. I think it was on eBay or something. I got a Agatha Soul Cauldron for $5. Unbelievable. It's like a $40 card now. I just sniped something at just the right time, and yeah, $5. Go figure. And let's see. So this little pouch thing, we're gonna get our life counter, and we're gonna get, I don't know why this pouches thing is a little silly. This, and we don't want to forget about our collector booster packs. I remember the first set that came out with collector boosters that I got, at least, was Capenna, and I think if you go back and watch that video, we got like I think we got a Tri-Land, like one of the Triomes that were printed in Capenna, and a Ledger Shredder, like a foil, something crazy. Go back and watch that. And I assume that like all the rest of the collector booster samplers were all good. And since then, we've done a few commander decks that came with these, and they were all terrible. Like commons, maybe one uncommon, something like that. But seeing that one Capenna was like a very much, distorted my view. Windfall, really good card for draw decks, for mill decks, anything like that. Pitiless Plunderer, this is a big one. We haven't seen this since the original Ixalan, right? So that's incredible to have if you have a incompleted Aristocrats deck. Rakdos Charms, all the charms are always pretty solid to have as a reprint. Herald's Horn, great reprint for literally every tribal deck ever. It's just a default include. The Indomitable, I really like this card. There's plenty of cards like this. Oh, when a creature deals combat to a player, draw a card, right? Biden of Thassa, there's a couple others that do stuff. But this is nice that it's also a vehicle. So like, hey, I can hit my opponent with my tiny... I'm going to actually put this in my spirit deck, right? I have, I can ping... These kinds of cards are great in a spirit deck because I can ping my opponent with like 3 flying spirits that are only 1/1s and draw like 4 cards off of that. But then when I get a couple extra spirits and I don't really need the cards as much, I can turn this into a creature and hit somebody for 6, which is pretty great. So I'm going to put that in there, probably replace like a Biden of Thassa or something like that. That's like a $1 card. This is like a $10 card. I read this. It's like, I must be missing something. Like, I don't understand why it's that good. Frankly, it's both, so you can only do it when it attacks, so basically once per turn. I guess, sacrifice an artifact. It can go in any kind of, your generic treasure, food token, clue token deck, but I don't really get that one. Amphren Mutineer, this is a really good card to have a reprint on. Biden of Thassa, there's what I was just talking about. Again, when a creature deals combat damage, draw a card. So very, very similar. Black Market Connections is the big one. I'm going to put that aside because I want to put that in a deck. Blood Money, always a solid reprint. Actually, I didn't realize that was in here, I don't think. That's pretty cool. I'm glad I saw that. I think I have a deck that should go in. Captain Lannery Storm got reprinted to death. This was like a $3 card, and then I think it got a Universe Legend, or whatever they called it, Multiverse Legend, in March of the Machines, and it just got overprinted. Now it's like a 10-cent card or something, but yeah, I mean, and there's just so many cards now that, oh, when you attack, create a treasure token. When you attack, create a treasure token. When your creatures deal combat damage, create a treasure token. But, you know, this used to be a pretty unique card to generate that treasure token every single turn. But now it's gotten so many reprints, and it's not really special anymore. I think this card, too, same thing. It's like, this used to be a $10 card, and then it got the Brothers War reprint, and then I think it was actually in another commander deck recently, and now it's like a $2 or $3 card or something like that. Good dual lands, you know, to get reprints of. That's always nice to see. But yeah, some definitely just like, again, a lot of good stuff. Black Market Connections is a big one for me. Last deck, sorry that took a little while. I'm going through these nice and slow. I hope this is useful for those who are considering getting the Lost Caverns of Ixalan commander decks. Hopefully my commentary is interesting and not too long, gives you some idea of what to look out for. But again, you know, if you go online and you look at these precons, I usually use MTG Goldfish for literally nothing else except for looking at commander precons, because it gives you like the full deck list and the pricing. Like, usually most precons have about like $60 worth of value in the actual cards, and you have to consider that half of that 60 is like 10-cent cards, right? 25-cent cards that are not even worth it to sell, because it costs more for you to sell a 25-cent card than you would if you sold it. But these have values of like $80. So like, again, you can buy this and either, you know, take out the few cards and that's what I usually do. I take out the few cards that I want, and then I just trade off the rest on Cardsphere or something, which, by the way, if you have a Cardsphere account, definitely come trade with me, Befron _TCG. I think I'm Befron _TCG. Just like I am pretty much everywhere else. And here we go. So our Merfolk deck, Rapid Hybridization. You know, this is one I'm surprised that Discipline of Wizards, they haven't just reprinted this thing to death. I don't think it was even, was it in any of the Commander Masters decks? I don't even know. I mean, it's a great card, and I'm surprised that just hasn't gotten, I mean, that should be in every single blue Commander deck, as long as, you know, if price is not an issue, that should really be in every single blue Commander deck. And the fact that they have not printed it like that is pretty impressive. So yeah, a lot of good new Merfolk. Ripples of Potential. This is the big one. I actually turned the Commander Masters Planeswalker deck into a 5-color deck. It was started off as blue, red, and white. I'm going to put this in my 5-color Planeswalker deck, so I really like that. But again, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of new stuff. I just sold a bunch. There's this random card in Modern Horizons 2 called Shaper of the Tides. It was some Merfolk. This is a really good reprint. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them can't be blocked. That's insane. You just have if you play a +1/+1 deck, all your creatures are just unblockable. But yeah, I had this Tide Shaper card from Modern Horizons 2. I had a few copies of them, and they just all sold overnight, I guess, when this deck came out. This we saw back in Modern Horizons 2, and I guess Wizards was like, screw it, we're just going to reprint it into the dirt. Branching Evolutions, solid reprint. This was a new card back in Jumpstart. It went up to like $20 for a while. Hardened Scales has just gotten reprinted a lot. Double Masters 22, I think it got reprinted in the what's it called? The Warhammer 40k. Realmwalker, really good card from Kaldheim. Really, really cool stuff. So like I'm saying, like just a lot of, I didn't notice that. Wow, so they're starting to reprint Strixhaven, it looks like, already. Vorel, the whole clad, very cool. And Metallic Mimic, again, another solid for any tribal deck you make. Just a great card to throw in. So that's pretty much it. Again, I was really impressed. I've definitely pulled back from Magic just because of how much stuff there is these days, and like values keep dropping. It's like, hey, if you need something, just wait and it'll be $10 less than it was before. Like, there's so many discounts you can find on TCG Player, so I'm like buying a lot less MTG because it's, you know, again, unless you desperately need something, like, you might as well just wait and buy it in a month and it'll be cheaper than it was. So but I saw the value of these decks, and I'm like, these are really good. I don't want to miss out on them. So, yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and open up these collector booster samples. So anyway, let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite card, both from Lost Caverns of Ixalan and from the Commander set Lost Caverns of Ixalan. What's your most, favorite new card or favorite reprint from these decks? Let me know in the comments down below. Leave me with a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content, or if you thought this was helpful. Intrepid Paleontologist and oh wow, look at these. I really like the borderless cards. I mean, I don't know, they look a little silly sometimes, but nice little borderless and a nice little, or no, this is borderless and this is full art. I always forget. Or extended art and borderless. That's what it is. Add 1 mana of any color, exile target card from. Oh, so this is more dinosaur stuff. I don't know. Maybe I should make a dinosaur deck if I'm getting all these dino-friendly cards. All right, so 2 out of 4. Let's see how we do. And was that? All right, I think this is. These are both from the main set, right? Yeah, these are not commander cards. Let's see how we do here. Our insert and Don Andre. Oh, a mythic. I don't know if this is a good mythic. Each creature you control but don't own. Oh, so this is really good for a Marquesa deck. Has +2 menace, death touch, and is a pirate. When you cast a non-creature you don't own, create 2 tap treasure token. That's pretty cool. I don't know when I would be casting a non-creature that I don't own, but. And Captain, I can't even read it. I literally cannot. They should. Captain Storm Community Raider. I have no idea what it says. Whenever artifact enters the battlefield, then you shall put a +1/+1 on target pirate. Okay, that's nothing too crazy. Wow, that is cool. Like, we've gotten all these different, if you look at what we got a showcase, we have 2 extended arts, a foil, 3 of them are foil, there's a borderless, so like no regular cards. So I feel like it is definitely doing a good job of giving you a sampling, right? Like, you're getting all these like crazy prints of cards. I haven't looked too much through the set. I think really the only card that I really want from this is Roaming Throne. That's just like another ETB doubler, right? You pick a creature type, and then if any of those creature types have ETB, then it doubles the ETB. So that's really good for my Miriam Dragon deck. It's really good for that Atali deck that I have. I can just double the Atali trigger. And we have Carmen's, Cruel Sky Marcher, and Nikanzil, Current Conductor, I guess. Anyway, so that's about it. Again, we'll just take a quick look at these. Really nice, like, again, if I'm just kind of a new guy getting to Magic the Gathering and want to see how cool these collector boosters looking, these are some pretty nice looking cards, even if they're not super valuable, I gotta say. So anyway, that's what we got from those. I hope you all enjoyed that. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below, what are your favorite cards from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, both the main set and from the Commander set and all the reprints. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and hope to see you next time.